Hello everyone. For today's course, we're going to learn how to actually build this kind of whole pattern facade. Compared to last course we shared, the formula we're going to build in Grasshopper will be far more harder than the previous course. Now let's get started. I already built this facade. Now I will show you. Very complicated. And now I'm gonna show you the formula. It's very long. Okay, the first formula, this one, we will get the results, just the circle pattern. It's not form the surface, it's not be extruded to a solid, but the second one, I form the surface and extrude all the circle into the solid and bake into the Y model in the Rhino software. And then if you draw the cube beneath this pattern and distract those or column pattern, you will get the facade we show at the beginning of the course. Now I will explain how to actually understand this formula. Okay, first I will delete this model. Okay. It's really huge, so my computer process kind of slow. Okay. I delete it. And back to the top view. We'll open again. So first, you need to set up a grade as well. But I will explain how to understand those two division calculator. So first, that's the client's requirement for this facade. So he gave me the size, so this size, and the spacing between each circle. So the central, that means the central points of each circle, the distance will be 30 millimeter, but the minimal spacing must not be smaller than 5 millimeter. So first, I set up the spacing value 30. So that's the length, that's the width. So in order to get how many circles we need to draw, so I need to set up a division. So use this value divide by 30. And the same, use the width, the value of the width, divide 30, and we can get how many circles need to be arrayed along the length and the width. And then we can set up our grade. It's really huge. Okay, and along to the image. So the same, if you wanna change the size of your pattern, the size of the image, the domain need to be matched the size you change. So once you change the previous number, you need to change the value here. And the other methods are the same as the previous course. And now for this method, so the maximum diameter is 25, that's set up. So divide by 2, we can get the maximum radius. So the smallest radius, you no doubt, 0. So we set up the range, how much the radius can be. And now, since the data structure here is the tree structure, we need to flatten into one. And then set out a bound here. Let's create a domain which compressed a list of number. And then set up and give it to the source and give the range to the target. And this one. So we set up, give it to the image like the previous course. And now we remap all the numbers and remap the data structure. And for this part, it's very important. So since we remap the numbers, there must be many 0 point something numbers. So it's not very well enough for the later calculate for the computer. So we need to expand the first. We multiply 10 and integral into all integer and then divide back to the original size of each value. And then now we can set up our first radius. Set up 1.5. And now this calculators, the meaning of this calculators is, so the value is larger than the 1.5 we're going to set up, we will dispatch to another group. So this number we will dispatch as a pattern to dispatch calculator. We can set up here, set and list dispatch. Yeah, we can dispatch this where the dispatch calculator at. Now we can see here we dispatch as a pattern and link to the original source, the square. Here we give it as a list. In order to get our plane where we can draw the circle on, and for this one is the the radius, which is 1.5 circles we're gonna draw. So now we can get our result. It's all 1.5 radius circle, and the same. The distance between each circle is 30. Now we get our result. The maximum calculator is we just draw the range, which is limited to 1.5. So some areas didn't draw the circle at all. Then based on the green channel, the lightest part we're gonna draw the 1.5 radius circle, and when the colors getting darker, the radius will get bigger. So that's the logic we're gonna get. And then we can link to the geometry calculator, the curve. So if we bake this curve, so we will get a result. And we better set up, if you want to set a 7 radius, different radius, you just set 7 different layers. So the first one, we click here. Now we bake. So we will get the geometry informations on the first layer. Now just back to the Rhino for a while. So that layer. So it's only on the layer 1. It's good for how to manage your geometric information when the model is very complicated. So let's go on. And now we just need to repeat. We just need to repeat this calculator again. It's totally the same. So the only difference is the size of the radius. So this one actually the second radius. Now we just repeat again and set our circle. You see? Now we still bake onto the second layer. Okay, now that's all the same. That's our third radius. Type in. Nope. So there's a little arrow here. We set up radius. Okay, and then now we get this. So that's the curve. We're gonna still bake third. Now repeat again and again. So all the same. So this is the fourth. Oh, this is the fourth radius. Again, and now bake onto the layer 4. Now that's fifth radius. Okay, we bake on the layer 5. Now that's sixth radius, and then we bake on layer 6. If we wanna get the 7th radius, but I think that's now necessary for this pattern now. So we just need to get the 6 layers. That's enough. The reason I set up the layer 7 is I need to train all these things in Rhino. So let's go back to the second formula. I form all the circle into the surface and extrude all the surface into a solid, geometric solid. So the reason I set up the 7th layers is I can draw the cube once we get a solid. And then we can use this balloon differences to cut all the solid and then get our facade. So that's the logic how we can build our the picture we show at the beginning of the course. So we have uploaded all the formulas and the material on our website. So if you have any question, please ask us. Now that's all for today. Thanks for watching.